Gemini, pause for a moment. Has someone in your life ever made you feel like you were too different, too complicated, or too hard to understand? Someone who laughed when you spoke about your dreams, someone who made you doubt your own intuition and heart. They thought you didn't know what you wanted. But the truth is, you were diving into layers of awareness they weren't refined enough to comprehend. And now, the universe is about to show them what you've always known. You're not the one who's inconsistent. You are the lesson they haven't learned yet. Gemini, there were moments when you stayed silent, endured, and believed that silence meant defeat. But the truth is, you were being prepared to become calmer in someone's story. Not for revenge, but for reflection, the way light reveals an unawakened soul. The universe is choosing you to be the messenger of divine justice through your wisdom, your heart, and your gentle strength. If someone has ever doubted you, write in the comments below, "I'm ready for my karma moment." Let this energy spread and declare that you are ready to step into a new chapter where truth needs no explanation and your light speaks for itself. Now, take a deep breath, prepare yourself a warm cup of tea or coffee, and join me on this journey where you'll understand why you are the karma in their story. Part 1. They once doubted your mind and your heart. Gemini, you know, sometimes the most beautiful souls are also the most misunderstood ones. Someone in your life once made you feel like you were too unpredictable, too sensitive, or too changeable. They didn't know that you weren't changing. You were evolving, learning to see the world through different eyes. Because you are Gemini, the spirit of air, always moving, always transforming, always searching for what truly touches your soul. But that very nature made others unable to keep up. And so, they doubted you. You once spoke about your dreams, and they laughed. You shared your intuition, and they shook their heads. You offered your genuine love, but they replied with silence. They thought you were inconsistent, that you gave up easily, that you never truly knew what you wanted. But what they never realized is you were communicating with the universe in your own way. Every time you fell into silence, it wasn't weakness. It was listening to the voice within, to the invisible signals guiding you to places they could never understand. Gemini, you've gone through many stages no one ever saw. Those nights you wondered if anyone could really understand you. Those moments you smiled to hide, a mind spiraling in conflict and emotion. Yet in those very moments, the universe was quietly teaching you the greatest lesson of all. You don't need to be understood to be recognized. You just need to understand yourself. The ones who doubted you were never evil. They were simply not mature enough to see the refined version of who you are, both logical and emotional, both rational and dreamy. And now, they're about to realize it. Because the universe, in its perfect design, is bringing you back to the center. Signs of reversal are coming: opportunities, people, and light. Not for you to prove that you were right, but to show that believing in yourself was always right. You once thought silence meant defeat, but now you understand. Silence is when you rebuild your energy. It's when the universe rewrites your story. And when the new chapter unfolds, those who doubted you will finally see what you've always known, that Gemini isn't fickle, but destined to transform the world through awareness. They will have to watch you succeed without proving, shine without arguing, and be loved without chasing. And what astonishes them won't be your results, but the way you achieve them gracefully, profoundly, and effortlessly. Because when a Gemini soul enters the awakening phase, they no longer seek acceptance. They become the light that makes others reflect upon themselves. Gemini, the universe is choosing you to be a mirror not for the past, but for truth. A lesson sent to someone through your very growth. When they look at you, they will see the part of themselves they once denied. And when they see the light you carry, they'll realize they were wrong not because you were perfect, but because they never looked at you with their heart. If you've ever been underestimated, labeled as unstable, unreliable, or too emotional, this is the message the universe sends directly to you. You're not off track. You're simply ahead of other people's timing. And when karma comes, it doesn't arrive with thunder. It arrives in silence, in the moments they suddenly realize you're no longer where you used to be. You've gone further, grown deeper, become the person they once thought was impossible. Gemini, if you've ever been looked down on, leave a comment. I see it now. Writing those words isn't just an action. It's a declaration to the universe that you now see your true worth. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next part will take you even deeper into why the universe chose you to be the instrument of divine justice. Now, take a deep breath. And if you're listening to this on a quiet evening, make yourself a cup of your favorite tea or coffee. Because this journey, Gemini, won't just help you understand others, it will help you meet yourself again, the version you once forgot. Part 2. The universe is reversing every mind game. Gemini, sometimes the justice of the universe doesn't come with thunder or loud revenge. It arrives like a breeze, gentle, subtle, yet powerful enough to shake everything that once seemed certain. For you, karma isn't punishment. It's energetic rebalancing, the universe's graceful way of rearranging the chessboard so that everyone eventually faces the consequences of their own choices. You, Gemini, are ruled by Mercury, the planet of words, thought, and awareness. That's why your karma doesn't come through actions, but through perception, communication, and the frequency of energy you radiate. You don't need to speak much. Simply existing in the frequency of truth causes every illusion around you to crumble. Those who once doubted you won't be punished the way they imagine. They will be awakened through your wisdom and your light. It might come through a post you share, a small success you achieve, or simply the way you show up calm, confident, and radiant in your authenticity. They will hear your name somewhere, see your face being respected, loved, and acknowledged. And in that moment, they will understand what they once dismissed has now risen beyond their reach. Gemini, this is how karma moves in your life. Truth speaks for you. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to win every argument. When you learn to stay silent and observe, the universe uses your intelligence to shift the whole dynamic. Every mind game that once hurt you is being turned around, and this time, you're the one holding the pieces. Do you feel it? Recently, the energy in your relationships has been changing. The people who once looked down on you are now listening. The doors that once closed in your face are now opening. This isn't coincidence, it's a sign of karmic reversal when the scales begin tipping in your favor, not because you forced it, but because you've grown wiser, clearer, and pure enough for the universe's energy to flow through you without distortion. Gemini, you were once the one being played. They manipulated through silence, made you question your worth. They used sharp words as weapons, while you stayed calm and tried to understand. But now, that very calmness is what makes you victorious. While others control with their minds, you observe with your consciousness. And the universe always sides with those who see the essence, not just the surface. Your karma doesn't come as payback. It comes as realization. One day, those who hurt you will accidentally hear your words, read what you've written, or witness your light shining before many, and in that instant, they'll recognize themselves in your reflection. They'll see that their own limitations, disbelief, and immaturity were the very walls that blocked them from the blessings the universe once offered. The universe is resetting the board. No one can control you through guilt or fear anymore. You are no longer trapped in the need to prove your worth. You are Gemini, the wind of awareness. And when the wind changes direction, the whole world must adjust. Let everything unfold naturally. Let what belongs to you find you, and let what no longer fits dissolve. When you live true to your Gemini essence, intelligent, honest, witty, gentle, yet firm, the universe automatically handles the rest. Because wise souls don't need revenge. They just need to be themselves, and truth will clear the path. Gemini, if you feel this energy rising in your life, in your conversations, in your dreams, in the stillness of the morning, know that it's the universe's sign. An old cycle is closing, and you are stepping into a new era where your power lies not in reaction, but in awareness. Comment, I trust the process. If you can feel this energy approaching, because when you trust the process, you allow the universe to work through you, not because you need to prove anything, but because you are the living proof of divine justice. And don't forget to subscribe, because in part 3, we'll go deeper into the moment when the balance of power between you and them truly shifts, when the universe places you in a position where they can't help but face everything they once underestimated. Part 3. When the balance shifts, they must face the new version of you. Gemini, have you felt it lately, the shift in the energy around you? You're no longer the version of yourself who once had to suppress emotions, keep the peace, or stay silent when being dismissed. Now, you stand in a different light, calm, powerful, and dignified in your self-worth. And what's interesting is that the very people who once made you doubt yourself are now the ones starting to look back and question themselves. In the coming months, this reversal energy will appear in subtle moments. A message from someone who once disappeared without a goodbye. A hesitant compliment from someone who used to underestimate you. Or a situation where a person who once looked down on you now needs your help. Not to repay, but to relearn respect. The universe is arranging things perfectly so that you become the mirror. When they look at you, they won't just see the new version of you. They'll see their old selves reflected back, arrogant, limited, and unrefined. They'll realize they were wrong, that they lost something valuable, simply because they lacked the patience to look deeper. And this is the magic of karma for Gemini reversal without warning. You don't need to act, prove, or fight back. All you have to do is be present in peace, and the universe will handle the rest. When your energy shifts, everyone around you must respond. That's the law of vibration. Gemini, you'll find you no longer crave revenge. You don't need it. True justice doesn't come from making them feel what you felt. Justice is freedom, the moment you no longer feel the need to prove anything. You smile, not because you've won, but because you've outgrown the game. The ones who thought they could control your emotions will realize you're no longer easily moved. You used to be the wind, soft, fleeting, easy to sway. But now you're the directed wind, focused, strong, purposeful. You don't need a storm to prove your strength. A single breath from you can shift the atmosphere. When you cross paths again, even briefly, you'll see it in their eyes, the confusion, the regret, and something they've never felt before. Respect. Not because of what you say, but because you've become something they can no longer reach. You've transcended the energy they once used to hold power over you. Gemini, this is your reversal, the soul-level shift. It doesn't arrive with noise, but with small, delicate, almost invisible signs, enough to let you know. The balance has turned. The ones who once judged you must now face the truth of themselves. And the irony? You've become their teacher. The universe has its own form of justice. It doesn't punish, it orchestrates. It ensures every soul faces the reflection of their own behavior. And through that, you, the once wounded, become the living example of growth, compassion, and strength. That is the most beautiful victory a soul can achieve. You'll notice that the old games no longer affect you. The subtle digs, the manipulations, the silence, none of it touches you anymore, because you know who you are. You no longer seek validation, it already exists within you. That's when the universe upgrades your soul from the one who endured to the one who illuminates. And when they see you shine, they'll finally understand this isn't revenge, it's balance. You didn't change to prove something. You changed because you no longer belong to that lower vibration. Gemini, remember this. Your silence now is louder than 1,000 rebuttals. Your calm commands the respect of the universe. Your glow doesn't come from making them see. It comes from living in alignment with your own light. And when you do, the universe responds by placing you exactly where you deserve to be, in the position where those who once doubted you now have to look up to see you. If you can feel this reversal energy drawing near, write in the comments, "My energy speaks louder." Write it as a declaration that you've entered a new chapter of your life, where truth, light, and self-respect are your strongest weapons. And don't forget to subscribe, because in the next part, you'll discover why this isn't just justice. It's the spiritual awakening that's reshaping your entire destiny, Gemini. Part 4. From Justice to Awakening. The lesson for both sides. Gemini, when karma truly arrives, what surprises you most isn't how the universe restores balance. It's how you feel. You don't feel triumphant. You don't crave payback. Instead, there's a strange, peaceful stillness, as if your heart has finally set down a burden it carried for years. You realize that silence no longer hurts, because you no longer need anyone to validate your worth. You can see it for yourself. What you once thought was justice turns out to be a doorway, one that leads to awakening. When they finally recognize their mistake, you realize something too. They were never truly against you. They were fighting their own fears. The person who doubted you was only mirroring the part of themselves that didn't believe in them. And now you understand they don't need punishment. They need awakening. Gemini, in this moment, your soul touches a higher level of awareness. You begin to see things differently. You look at pain through the lens of understanding. You no longer seek to prove intelligence or right and wrong, because you now know intelligence without compassion is incomplete. You were born under Mercury's gift, the ability to understand, analyze, and speak truth. But now you're learning the greater lesson. Truth doesn't always need to be spoken sometimes, it just needs to be felt. The one who hurt you was the test for your heart. They forced you to choose, to react, or to awaken. And you chose the latter. The universe used you to open their eyes, but it also used them to open your heart. Without them, you wouldn't have learned how to love without control, how to let go without resentment, or how to trust divine order more than human apologies. They were the challenge that made you grow. You are the light, that helps them see. Gemini, this is the deepest turning point of the soul's journey. From justice to compassion. You begin to understand that pain alone doesn't heal, only forgiveness does. And forgiveness doesn't mean letting them back into your life. It means freeing yourself from the energy of the past. Forgiveness happens when you no longer let yesterday dictate the vibration of your present. You'll see that everything had its purpose. The times you were doubted taught you self-belief. The words that hurt you taught you silence over reaction. And now, your silence is no longer a wound, it's strength. It allows you to see life through the eyes of your soul, not your ego. Gemini, you are entering a stage of spiritual neutrality, where you are no longer shaken by others' energy. They may regret, return, or apologize, but you're not waiting for it. You simply smile and send a quiet blessing, because you know karma isn't revenge. It's education through love. Within this energy, you realize the most beautiful truth isn't in words, but in the peace you now carry. You've walked a long road to understand that every pain had purpose. And now, you stand at the peak of awareness where you no longer seek justice, because you have become justice itself. If you're listening to this and feel your heart growing lighter, it's a sign that you're ready to enter the next chapter 1 of forgiveness, release, and freedom. Gemini, comment, I forgive and release. If you can feel this liberation expanding within you, let that phrase become the frequency you send into the universe, the signal that you're ready to let go of the past. Open your heart and welcome true peace. And don't forget to subscribe to continue this journey of healing with the universe, where every lesson isn't just an ending, but the beginning of a completely new version of you. Part 5. The ending. You're not repaying karma. You're transforming it. Gemini, there's a truth that only souls who've known deep pain can truly understand. You don't have to repay karma. You have to transform it. When you become karma in someone's life, it's not about revenge or payback. It's a sign that your soul has evolved beyond the old cycle. You are no longer trapped in the loops of anger, hurt, or resentment. You now stand on a higher plane where your mere presence allows truth to shine on its own. From someone once overlooked, labeled too sensitive, too complicated, too inconsistent, you've become the one people now listen to, respect, and turn to for guidance. Those who once doubted you now learn from you, not because you proved anything, but because you've become living proof of transformation. Gemini, you are no longer the one wounded by the past. You are the one who turned pain into wisdom, misunderstanding into awareness, and silence into strength. You are not karma coming to return the pain. You are the energy chosen to release it. Every word you speak, every action you take, carries the frequency of awakening. You teach others not by preaching, but by living without judgment, without forcing change, simply by being your authentic light. Those who once doubted you will learn 2 things. First, that a lack of faith is the door that closes off all miracles. Second, that you never needed their belief, because you never stopped believing in yourself, and that realization will make them reflect. Through this journey, you've also discovered something even more profound. Every misunderstanding, every wound, every word that once cut you was a lesson to help you understand yourself more deeply. Without them, you would never have known how strong your endurance truly is. Without their doubt, you would never have learned how to trust your soul completely. And without being underestimated, you would never shine with the calm confidence you now carry. Gemini, your soul was born under the element of air, never still, Never confined by limits, you came to learn, to share, to inspire, and then to move on, softly, yet leaving an imprint in every heart you've touched. You are the lesson the universe sent into their lives, and they, in turn, were the lesson sent into yours. When you stand in this frequency, free, wise, with nothing to prove, karma dissolves into blessing. You no longer need to look back, because the past is now just a mirror reflecting how much you've grown. You no longer need to compare, judge, or prove anything. Because when a Gemini soul truly awakens, everything around them naturally aligns. You'll begin to see new opportunities opening, kindred souls approaching, and your life moving on a lighter, deeper, and more meaningful vibration. Because your energy is no longer caught in right and wrong, it now flows in understanding and love. Gemini, this journey doesn't end with a bang, but with a peaceful exhale. There is no winner or loser, only souls who've learned their lessons. You're not their ending. You're the doorway to their transformation. And for you, this is no longer karma. It's ascension. When you accept everything as it is, you don't just pass the lesson, you open a new path, where your energy becomes the light that guides others forward. If you feel deep within your heart that this moment is arriving, the moment of freedom, recognition, and soaring higher than ever before, write in the comments, "I am ready for my divine reversal." Write it as your affirmation to the universe that you're ready to receive everything meant for you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video so your energy can ripple outward, because through you, another soul might just find their own light. Gemini, this isn't the end. This is your rebirth, and the universe is smiling because you've fulfilled your purpose completely, gracefully, and with love. Gemini, as this video comes to a close, take a quiet moment for yourself to feel. You've likely traveled through so many emotions: anger, pain, peace, and finally, freedom. But the most important thing this journey has brought you isn't about who was right or wrong, it's about how deeply you've come to understand yourself. Life will always send people to test you, but through them, you discover just how powerful you truly are. The lesson from the universe today isn't just about astrology, it's about life itself. When someone doubts you, don't respond by proving, respond by growing. When someone underestimates you, don't try to convince them, become something they cannot deny. And when someone hurts you, don't carry hatred, carry light. Gemini, the greatest gift you've received today is the realization that every event has a purpose. No one can truly take your power unless you give it away. From this moment on, believe that every word, every choice, every step you take is painting the masterpiece of your destiny more perfectly than ever before. Comment below, "I am ready for my new chapter." It's not just an affirmation, it's the declaration of an awakened soul, ready to enter a new chapter where karma turns into blessing, where you no longer chase fairness because you are the embodiment of it. If this video touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so that this healing energy can reach even more souls. Because maybe you, the one listening right now, will be the wind that awakens someone else's light. The universe always sees you, Gemini, and I believe the miracle meant for you is closer than you think. See you in the next journey, where together we'll walk even deeper into the light of the soul.